think we're live here. Anybody interested in a stream on Easter? Welcome in. Is this gonna work? All right, we're just gonna sit here until somebody shows up. I'm gonna talk to myself. Maybe all we do tonight. See if anybody has notifications turned on. All right. Just a messing around here. Welcome in, welcome in. Happy Easter to you all. I just wanted to do a quick live stream. As I had mentioned on Friday that I would come back and talk to y'all. It is Sunday, April the 20th, 8 p.m. We got Reluctant Prophet doing a live stream at 9 p.m. So this is going to be a short one. Just wanted to get a few thoughts about what's going on with all the interesting stuff in Pima County, Arizona. Let's turn that off. Let's get you all set up here. Like this. Prop you up a bit. That's not too bad. A little bit of glare. All right. This is kind of an impromptu show here. As I said, it's going to be short and sweet. So whether people are going to be watching this after or see who shows up tonight, I didn't post any notice on this, so this is kind of a test. See if notifications are turned on, and we're just streaming off the iPhone here. Give myself a thumbs up. Yeah, so I was just kind of puttering around the yard the last couple of days and was getting these random thoughts about the Lane Myers situation. Because there's a bit of a online, I wouldn't say a furor about it, but there's people talking about it. Some that are pro-Lane, some that are violently anti-Lane. And by violence, I mean their words are horrifying. Meaning that they may or may not have left messages on someone's voicemail, which constitutes harassment in Pima County, apparently. But yeah, there was a video I think Jason Zwack covered, and it was about conflict of interest. And I was out today. We had family dinner, so I didn't get to do a deep dive myself into that conflict of interest, which involved one of the judges and the former dean at the James E. Robinson or James E. Rogers School. I just have those tabs up. I got a laptop on the side here. Cheat note. I don't have notes, but I had some tabs pulled up just so I could reference stuff, and then I closed them, so bear with me. I'll pull them back up here. I'm not going to share a screen on this here. But yeah, it was Tracy Miller, was a judge pro tem in a criminal, she does criminal and drug court for Pima County. And Jason Zwack had been, I guess, until I can confirm this, alleging that her father was Mark Miller, who was the former dean at the University of Arizona School of Law. And that was Shannon Walker's boss. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. Let me get the chat up here. We can say hi to everybody. Let me just finish this thought here. So, does the sound okay? I'm just using no devices, just my iPhone. So let me know if it all sounds okay. Okay. I'll read your comments in a section. So. YouTube Service System. Welcome in, YouTube Service Systems. I think you almost got Lane Meyer's channel taken down at one time, did you not? What was I getting? Okay, yeah. Lisa Miller. Too many random thoughts going on. Too much incoherent babble. Where was the other tab here? So Mark Miller, I want to pull up his info here. And I'll possibly do another live stream tomorrow and put links. I don't know if you guys are interested in links to all this stuff that I'm seeing too. Like, I'm not editing videos. I'm just getting up here and talking. And someday I'll start doing some editing. Man, where'd it go? Yeah, that's no good. In any case, let's see if that takes me there. Yeah, I just Googled Dean Miller at Arizona Law School, and it brings up Mark Miller, University of Arizona Law. So he served as dean. This is Mark Miller. I'm just reading off the University of Arizona site. He was the Ralph W. Bilby Professor of Law. I guess that's some kind of fancy schmancy title. And he served between 2012 and January 2025. So the timing of that is extremely interesting to me. And so saying Jason Zwack had made a connection between Mark L. Miller and Tracy Miller, who I don't have his video in front of me, but he was playing an excerpt from it. I forget which hearing it was. It's kind of beside the point, but he was bringing up the Arizona regulations when it comes to conflict of interest. And so if in fact, what's this girl's name again? Tracy Miller is the daughter of the dean that Shannon Walker was working for. I got a bit of a problem with that. Like, there's interests at work there. And then Mark Miller stepped down in January 2025. And so when was Mrs. Myers, Kat Lane's significant other, she was let go sometime in September? Or when was Lane leaving those messages? September, October? The timeline is kind of, it's so difficult to follow, and I've never tried to track out the timeline. Foshin and Reluctant Prophet have put together a pretty decent timeline of all the things that Lane has been experiencing and all the different hearings. I haven't gone through that trouble, but I know most of the players involved. So let me know what you think. Is that too much of a conflict of interest in that Shannon Walker reported to the dean and in the hearing, hey, how's it going, friends in code? Yeah, let's get this out of the way. I'll say my highs here. Mass Aviation, welcome in. Maple Plus said hi. Oh, some new faces. YouTube Service Systems, always good to have you. Even though this is the first time I've seen you here. Actually, I'm going to do this. What happens if I do this? I just want to see who YouTube Service Systems is. See if I can figure out whose sock account that is. You're feeling harassed? It'll be all right. Trolling people? Oh yeah, it's a big time troll. Who is this? Anybody know who this is? 2025. 2 subscribe. Well, let's subscribe. You just got another subscriber, so 2 videos. Yeah, I'll follow you. Trolls welcome here, as always. Dolores, hi. Unsurprisingly, a public service got traded for a bus replacement service that never showed up. Okay. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sound good. YouTube Service Systems. Well, it's not fake. It is a channel. It looks like a troll channel. So I remember Lane in a live stream. He was freaked out by a similar message in a chat that, this channel is going to be taken down. And Lane actually seems like a guy you could actually scam pretty easily. Not that I ever would, but I've trolled him a couple of times, and it's sort of like, whew. So he knows what he knows, but I guess different types of subtle YouTube trolling he doesn't have a feel for that yet. There's a hearing tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see what goes on with that. Welcome, friends in code. Welcome, Jody Shillow. Hi, come on in. I'm just sharing a few random thoughts about the Pima County situation before Reluctant Prophet goes live in about 45 minutes. So I don't want to overlap. He's going to do a thing on Laura Conover and Rachel Stiles from the looks of it. So I'm going to tune into that, just get more background. He did a nice little talk and repair or / butchering his Chevy SUV on Friday. The upper control arms, that was a good hangout time. So, getting more background of what's happening with his cases and whatnot. But yeah, it kind of occurred to me, like with these conflicts of interest, and I guess a question I have, maybe somebody here knows the answer. Have any of the felony indictments from that grand jury been dropped, or are all the charges still pending and in place? This is where I don't have the inside track on the information, because I went to look up Lane's cases on the Pima County website, and for injunction harassment cases or felony cases or violent offenders, you can't get access to it online. So I have a problem with that too. Like, these are matters of public interest. Why? Maybe it's like this in all 50 states. I mean, in Canada, it's probably even worse. I've never kind of looked up into matters like this, but Arizona seems to have some pretty wonky little little laws and nuances, the victim's rights, Bill of Rights. Uh, it seems like the defendant has no rights in Arizona at this point. And so people that are interested in the matter, like we can't even look up the court docket, any of the case numbers. It's done. Like we're shut out. So unless you're getting it directly from Lane, so if Lane is on the phone with you, like Reluctant Prophet or Foshin, and this is a public service, like the rest of us are kind of in the dark. Like we're not privy to that. So it's not that I need to, but this information gap really kind of doesn't prevent us from doing anything, but it just, I have more questions, right? Like I think the public should have access to some of this. Like these are public records. Like there's a potential dangerous offender. But yeah, it just seems the system is stacked so that it's not only we can't win against the system because they make all the rules, but the system can't change. Like we literally can't get justice. And that's they're stacking them for now. Yeah, like I'm under the impression they are, but it seems like not the consensus, but a likely scenario is they're going to drop the felony charges and maybe nail him on one or two misdemeanors, and he'll either plea out or get time served, or he might get his day in court in front of a jury, but by that time the damage has been done. Like he's in prison. And so if those felony charges were to get dropped, and maybe shouldn't, I don't know if this is speaking out of turn or talking out of school here, but if those felony charges got dropped, without notice or without a hearing, like that makes Lane's incarceration that much more more evidence that he's being held as a political prisoner. Let's put it that way. How are you, my friend? Fayetteville, North Carolina. North Carolina. Welcome in, welcome in. We're just talking Lane Myers. Happy Easter to all of you that joined. JD Vance is here. Oh, JD. Awesome. Say hi to Donald and Elon for me. Or is that a different JD Vance? You're not Vice President Vance, are you? I heard it's illegal in North Carolina not to be related. Is that true? Well, you've got someone in the chat that can answer that for you. But yeah, the system in Arizona, I don't know if it's unique. Again, I'm watching from out of country as an observer. This is completely fascinating, and I think I mentioned on Friday, I'm watching because I've been following this online law, what do you call it, like self-study for years. And like going back to like the early 2000s, like there's a fellow up here I was watching. I did a whole video called "I Fought the Law" earlier on when I started this channel, way back 2 months ago in January. So if you want to go back and see my background of where I'm coming from in this approach, I've seen the free man on the land movement. I didn't really follow the Montana Freeman movement. That was, I think some people up here kind of borrowed from that, but mostly it was about getting the Freeman or the Sov Sit, movement, as it was kind of known for a time. It seemed like the individuals involved were mostly concerned about being able to get access to pot here before it was legalized. It wasn't decriminalized, it was legalized, and that was a for-profit scheme that Justin Trudeau did with all his insider buddies. They were the ones that were given licenses for the grow ops and the dispensaries, and so it was kind of like getting in on the ground floor. It was a bit of a pump and dump scheme, and so we do have legalized marijuana in the country here now in the entire 51st state, which is 10 provinces and 3 territories, but like you still can't grow your own up. You're limited to 3 plants or 5 plants for personal use. So there's still regulations. They want you buying the crappy government weed. And eGamer, welcome in. Are we buffering here? I'm seeing a little bit of a hiccup. eGamer, there's your shout out. Shout out to eGamer. Everybody say hi to eGamer. Let's channel. How come I can't comment? This is my own chat. I should be able to comment. Oh, it's because I'm not a member. Let's try this. And of course, I'm on top chat. We'll do this for you. Marijuana is legal in Cherokee, North Carolina, but not the rest of the state. What kind of sense does that? Yeah, like is that county, Cherokee County? Here we have, like similar to counties, they're called municipalities in Manitoba. There are some provinces that actually call them counties. Alberta, I think Ontario has counties. Some are like more of a township as a descriptor, but typically they're called municipalities here, which are equivalent to your like local government, where your state or province is divided up into counties with its own little board of governors or however. Well, here's what I could do. Instead of being a moron, put the camera beside the chat so I can kind of look at it all together. All right, back to Lane Myers. Yeah, so there's just too much kangarooism going on, for lack of a better term, and like I've also been noticing, like there's channels out there. I'm not going to really mention any names. I don't want to give people extra traction or send traffic their way, but it's like they're not helping the cause of justice. They seem to be anti-constitutional, and kind of my position is, it's not that you can't make an accusation against Lane and that he's blameless. Like I don't think anybody's saying that. What we're saying is it's dirty pool to be locking him up on sealed indictments or grand jury indictments. Like it seems like real Star Chamber kind of stuff, where he's been rendered ineffective. They've essentially neutered him, for lack of a better word, in that he doesn't have access to the tools he needs to mount his defense. And do you step over Styles? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's piles of Styles around here. So what is Cherokee, a town then? That's interesting. Like, yeah, eventually marijuana is going to be legalized probably in all 50 states. There might be a few regions that hold out, but it's sort of, that's the trend. And I don't use marijuana. I don't really care. Smoke it if you want, but my approach would have been decriminalization, which is, you're not going to go to jail for possession. Even selling it, like I'm a voluntarist. If you got 2 consenting people who are able to make a contract legally, meaning they meet the elements of what a contract is, and they decide to partake of a substance in this manner, the government has no business being a part of that. That's a transaction that doesn't require any intervention. So is the step that I would have been in favor of. The legalization, it just communicated to me that it was a money-making scheme, and the Trudeau government was just caught in scheme after scheme, scam after scam, and nothing ever happened. And now the new guy who they installed, who may very well be voted in as prime minister at the end of this month, like, he just seems like a total scammer too. But they're all scammers, and so I say avoid the scam and just do your own thing. But yeah, it's sort of the fair play in my, or the court of public opinion. We'll title this, a convening of the court of public opinion, because that's what you guys are. And we'll just say I believe the court of public opinion is interested in seeing Lane's constitutional rights allowed, that the defendant has rights, and that he can have a chance at a fair trial. And if he's found guilty after that, well, okay, no harm, no foul. Like, if they've got the better argument, then it should be no problem for them, right? But it just seems like all this dirty trickery. And so, again, the suspicious nature of Mark Miller stepping down, because the allegation by Lane and his wife is that she was let go from Hernandez. Yeah, we're going to have to watch Reluctant Prophet to get the whole dope there. But there was like, it's like a whole network of people, right? And they all know each other. They're all networked together. And it seemed like more than an arm's length relation between Shannon Walker and Kat, Lane's wife, significant other. And so it just seemed like there's a possibility of blowback if Mark Miller were still in the dean's position, acting as Shannon Walker's boss, and having his daughter making decisions in a hearing involving Lane Meyer's wife and Shannon Walker, who works for Mark Miller. And so like I say, the timing of his stepping out, because he's on faculty, he's still on faculty at the University of Arizona Law School. He's just not the dean anymore. So it's all politics, it's all networks and networking. So I don't know that there's a solution. And so what do you do? Well, what I've been hearing others doing is, and this is me, if I was in Arizona, I'd be getting on the phone to the Attorney General in Arizona and say, I've got questions. How come all these things are happening? And start telling the story of what's happened to Lane Myers. It's like, I believe we've got a political prisoner, and between Laura Conover's office and Matt Walker, Samantha Walker, Miller, the Millers, and find every conflict of interest you can. Like, Rachel Stiles is coming on like a freight train here, but she seems completely reckless and disregarding all rules of fair play, because, again, she knows, and this is what it appears to be, she knows that the judge and the Pima County Prosecutor's Office, Laura Conover's office, they've all got each other's back. Like, Lane is being set up as, a lamb for the slaughter. So that's just my thoughts. I would be on the horn with the Attorney General, who's, the top lawyer in the land. But I don't know who he is. Is he some California Democrat, or is he a solid guy? Myers, Reluctant Prophet is going live, and that was just kind of pondering for the last couple of days, and has to do with conflicts of interest and just the appearance of impropriety. That's what it seems to me. And if that in fact is going on, I think the Attorney General might be interested in that. Maybe there's an ombudsman. That's an office we have up here. If there's the ability to appeal to an ombudsman of some kind, it's not so much of a legal office up here. It's more, if you have a problem with the government, then the government will step in and take care of the government on your behalf. They'll scold the government. I was reading the ombudsman's page up here on some matters in Manitoba, and they do cause government officials to see if they're acting out of line, but you have to have a pretty good story to follow up. But I would be writing letters to the Arizona Attorney General saying, "Listen, this just stinks to high heaven. All I can smell is kangaroo poop, and it's piling up to Lane Meyer's neck, and he can't move right now." And just explain the story. Emails. I don't know what the best way to get through to him, but or him or her, or to that Attorney General's office. I don't know if he would speak to you or how that works, but I would be making appeals to that, saying like, there was a grand jury that convened, and out of the blue, we had an injunction against harassment, and it's gone completely sideways, and the guy's being held without bond. And the reason they're able to hold him is because he's got these felony indictments, and then he turned around and kept making more videos, and they said he's doing more of the same felony activity that we're indicting him on. So because he's committing more felonies by using his First Amendment, which he has claimed, like he's stating, I make these videos standing on the belief that this is my First Amendment right to do so. And if the Attorney General isn't interested in protecting Lane's First Amendment rights, then pretty much everybody in Arizona is screwed. And this is, I'm not doing a deep dive in here. I'm not pulling up case law. I'm not pulling up statutes and U.S. code or whatnot. This is just, if there is such a thing as equity in the justice system, like Lane Myers has zero access to it at this point. Or he's not exercising his ability to access that equity, which at this point would be to be released. Right? That this is the black and white of the law, where Rachel. Meanwhile, Lane has said, tell me what videos need to come down, pending the. I can adjust what's available on my YouTube channel. That's not a big deal. If it's a matter of a couple of videos, but you have to show me what the exhibits are. What are the videos that are in contention here or under consideration? And they never did that. And they basically said, "Oh well, you're just you should know. If you don't know, then we're not going to tell you." And so again, there's just a complete inability to access justice or equity in this matter, and it's a little chilling, right? And part of it is for us that believe in that kind of thing, such as constitutional rights. Well, okay, just pause. In a perfect world, if the government acted towards us in a way that they said they would on paper, no problem. I would be a statist. I would be voting for them. I'd be supporting them. I'd be possibly even running for government if I felt like it. But that's not the way the system works, and it hasn't worked that way for a long, long time. And it's not our business to figure out what happened way back when. we need to be concerned with today. Like, what can we do today? And that's kind of my approach in these matters. Like, I'm not concerned about what happened in a hearing 4 months ago, because that's over. That's done. Like, Lane knows what happened in that hearing, and if there's something that could be done to amend the record or fix the process or uh, appeal to a different matter or dismiss to a different jurisdiction, like federal jurisdiction. Michael Eline believes, getting this heard in a federal court would make a difference. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. He is. People have legal opinions. I'm just giving my court of public opinion ruling on this. And so, yeah, I kind of want to hear from you guys. Not necessarily right now, but like, think about these things. Like, how do we, apart from just abandoning the system in place, which is a possibility. I've talked about that before. Just go do our own thing. Start our own breakout society. If that's a big if, Dolores, they're in the system, it might, another loaded word, work. So for these reasons, it doesn't. Yeah, 100% agree. And really, the system in place is such that honest people will be corrupted. And if I'm wrong, you need to show me an example of one who hasn't been. I'm waiting. I'm not holding my breath either. Like, that's just the way the system is set up. And that's why I say, like, the system can't change. The system in place can't change. We either need to scrap the system, like constitutional Congress kind of thing, like a hard reset of some kind, whatever that looks like. And because the way we're going about it now, it's just going to have this chilling effect on those that do decide to talk to the king's men. And then when the king's men find you doing something that the king doesn't approve of, and they throw chains on you and drag you before the king, then it's a matter of, hear ye, the Lord of the Manor of Arizona, hearing the matter of Lane Jeffrey Myers and the evil, wicked voicemails, we find the defendant. Like, did you catch that in Rachel Stiles? When there was that Eric Brown, that officer that was testifying at a trial last week or a week and a half ago, where Rachel Stiles asked Detective Brown to identify Lane Myers. And so he did. He's like, he's the gentleman sitting to my left. And then Rachel said, please note that the officer identified the victim. She called Lane Myers the victim. So a little slip of the tongue, because she knows she's victimizing him. And the judge, maybe that was Tracy Miller. I forget. The judge, yeah, I think it was Tracy Miller that was sitting in on that hearing. That's the one. Reboot the system. It's my phone. Oh. Or reboot the whole damn system. Okay, I thought you were trouble with the live stream. I'm getting all kinds of buffering on this phone. I don't know why. I hardly get. Does it buffer when I do it on my laptop? You guys have to tell me. Yeah, Tracy Miller had to pipe in and say, that's the defendant, not the victim. So Rachel, like, she gets it. She called Lane Myers the victim. Like, it doesn't, you can't make this stuff up. Like, like that's a tell. Like, she's telling you that we're all getting duped here. And so, like, what do you do with that? Again, I would rat on them to the Attorney General. But again, I want to see Lane out and the opportunity to have his day in court. But they're not interested in that. They're interested in making a spectacle of this, making an example of Lane, so that any of us want to try exercising our constitutional rights, we're just going to expect to be locked in a cage and, you know, have to go on a hunger strike and listen to lies from the prosecutor. Like, that's what they do, though. Like, but the way the way they've crafted the language, again, they've manipulated the grammar, and it's all rhetoric. The common sense and logic is mostly tossed out the window. We don't have access to an honest system because they've got that coded language that they speak and we don't. And so it doesn't matter if Rachel Stiles misspeaks and calls Lane the victim. The judge is going to save her ass. But if you somehow misidentified the opposing party, you know, they'd hold that against you. And so, again, they're not supposed to be holding pro se litigants to the same standard as a bar member. But yeah, somebody needs to ask the Attorney General, like, why is the judge correcting what Rachel Stiles just put on the record, calling Lane Myers the victim? Which, in my opinion, he is. He's being victimized by this crazy system. Yeah, again, I don't know if it's unique to Arizona. They've got the deck stacked against him. Let's see. And so what do we do? Like, there's again, I don't expect anybody to do anything because I don't know that doing much of anything is going to help at this point. But do want to help Brother Lane? Like, what on earth do we do? That's how I feel about it. So yeah, if you're watching this, you know, we're not going to solve it in this chat, but I'll keep talking about it from time to time. It's just kind of all of us together. Like, we can get some synergy going in our thought process. Like, maybe we are going about this all wrong. I'm completely okay with the idea that the head-on approach is incorrect and that we need to come up with different strategies. I used the example before of Gandhi, you know, and I don't know if Lane Myers has used this example. And whatever you think about the historical account of Gandhi in India, but you know, the non-violent protest with the colonial British rule, they just sat down on the beach and refused to work at making salt. I think it was like the salt. Basically said we're on strike, and it doesn't matter. You could drag us back to our positions. Like, we're not working. We're done. And they just sat down. And I guess the British were faced with either kill them all or they back down. And so they backed down. And so I don't know that we've got the John Lennon sleeping. Yeah, well, I don't want to be anywhere near Yoko Ono, to be honest with you. Did I read Parvis's motion? No, like, I don't know where that is. So I haven't been able to look up stuff. And like I say, there's a few people covering this, and it's kind of a little overwhelming trying to follow all of it. And I don't want to add more confusion as far as some of the detailed analysis. I'm more kind of the broad strokes of this is how I think or even feel about it. because this is again the court of public opinion. Parvin, uh, Lane said in the hearing the other day, is like, Parvin, you're not going to be my lawyer at the time of the trial. So the motion to dismiss, yeah, that's a thing. But no, I haven't seen it. I haven't read it. I don't know where to find it. But if I come across it, I'll check it out. So again, maybe Reluctant Prophet or Foshin has access to that. But it's sort of a matter of letting this play out. But there's probably still things we can do. And I've been saying, get on your YouTube channels, get on your social media. The other night I said, on that 122H, that motion or that petition that Matthew Walker's got on the Arizona Courts website, get your comment in and then put it on social media. Like, the Arizona court needs to hear what you think about this. And I gave a little strategy there too, like use AI, let the AI read Matt Walker's motion and let AI come up with arguments against Matt Walker's motion and overwhelm Matt Walker with responses to his petition, because he has the opportunity to respond to anything we submit. And if you overwhelm him with a bunch of stuff, I'm sure he's a busy guy. Maybe he's got a legal team that's going to be able to combat all kinds of responses, but just imagine if there were 10,000 responses that came in, his office would have to shut down just to answer responses. And if those responses aren't answered, well, then the Arizona Supreme Court sees all these unresponded comments, and they're going to look at that and say, well, maybe Matthew Walker doesn't have a good argument here, because look at all these people are submitting these different comments. And yeah, I don't know how that works, if all those comments would sound repetitive if you let AI do it. But if you've got time and a bit of a knowledge of the legal process, you can come up with your own arguments against what Matt's put forward in that petition. It's a piece of trash. And again, I'm in Canada. I'm not going to get involved officially with your legal system there, other than kind of just throwing out suggestions from the sidelines here. Like, I'm kind of just backseat driver here, armchair quarterback. Even we've got our own problems here. Like it's said the other day, we're in a police state, failed state, banana republic, and there's not a lot we can do at this point, other than go find a place in the hills to live and dig a well and raise some animals and feed your family and forget about all the idiots that are trying to run the show. Because they're just going to run it into the ground at this point. They're running the whole damn system into the ground, and maybe that's part of the plan, to just destroy the whole works, and then out of the ashes they'll rebuild their technocracy or what have you. So. But with that, we're getting close to Reluctant Prophet time. Reading your comments, talking about John Lennon, some other good stuff. I like you guys chat amongst yourselves. Any other questions before we shut this down? Because I'm going to go troll Reluctant Prophet participate in his chat big time. I'll try to keep the trolling to a minimum. So you guys kind of, we got a few minutes left, but if you have any comments, send them my way. We can talk about them or give me more stuff to think about. Like, I like that people are putting content out there, and then I can look at it and it's like, oh, okay, I never thought of that angle. And here's what, I take that and I interpret it through my lens or my perspective, and then I'll do a video like this and see about maybe we, together we can figure this out. I like the idea of being able to hack the system, taking that petition and just overwhelming Matt Walker's office with responses. Because if he doesn't respond to them, an unresponded comment, it basically stands, right? Not as law, but the Supreme Court is going to read any unresponded comments, and they're going to have to consider that, right? Whereas if only 3 or 4 comments come in and Matt responds to them, then the Supreme Court may or may not agree with Matt's response. But if there's a pile of unresponded comments, like, it doesn't look good on Matt. And that's part of the strategy, is to humiliate him. Like, this is not cool what's going on. And rather than fight fire with fire, I'd rather fight fire with stink bombs and tar and feathers. You know, it's like, we'll find our own way through. You know, if we can't find a way, we'll make a way. So with that, I think everybody's slowed down here. Head over to Reluctant Prophet. Here, what I'll do is I'll you guys all got the notification, I'm sure. But I can link to oh, here it is. If anybody's watching this after, this will take you right to Reluctant Prophets Live. So I'll just post this link in the chat here. You should be able to head straight over there. Oh, what happened? Give me a minute here. Oh, this laptop is so ancient. Oh, here we go. It struggles, man. Let's see, does it? Okay, yeah, there's a link. No evidence. Yeah, well, that's why we got to humiliate him on his behalf. Like, somebody's got to teach him. His parents never taught him humility. He got participation awards. Same with his wife. No capability or capacity at this point. Like, I want to see evidence of that. And he seems to be more interested in yelling at the screen when while sipping on Bud Light. Have a good one, Dolores. We'll see you over at Reluctant Prophets. So take care, everybody. Happy Easter. Good to see you. And I'll see you over at old RP's place. All right.